Hello, I'm Colin Gehring here in Calgary, Alberta with Dave Lindsay. I know, Dave, you speak a lot at conferences all over the world to talk about how to prevent sports injuries, especially for golf.
Well, I'm both a clinician, meaning I physically treat people, and I do golf research, which is a nice combination because I don't just sit in the ivory tower. I've got to take that information that we learn from our research and apply it practically to golfers mostly. I think any good physiotherapist or whatever can get somebody better, but if you don't understand the golf swing, and the golf swing is creating the stress that creates the injury, and you haven't dealt with the golf swing at all, then you're only kind of halfway there. So ideally, we have to look at why did that injury occur with that type of swing, and how would we make that swing more efficient. Basically, the golfers of the world, about 2/3 to 3/4 of them will get hurt at some point. And of that number, half of those remain chronic, meaning they stay around for a long time or they keep coming back or whatever. One person in every foursome and every tee time at every golf course around the world has some kind of niggling, chronic golf injury that they'd like to get rid of. So
well, that's a lot.
It's a lot of injuries out there.
Yeah.
And, the back is, as a single body part, the one where most of the injuries occur. The upper limb as a segment involving obviously hand, wrist, elbow, and shoulder, as a segment, it has the majority of injuries. About 50% of all golf injuries affect the upper limb. About 25% of all golf injuries affect the low back.
Well, look at you look at what's happening now on tour with Phil Mickelson,
his wrist,
and Michelle Wie. A lot of professionals even are having tremendous amount of problems with their wrist.
The wrist, typically on the lead side, which is a bit odd for Phil because his is on the trail side, does suffer a large degree of stress when the club makes contact with the ground. There's this sudden deceleration of the club, and depending on the number of times that happens, or the speed at which the deceleration occurs, meaning a deep divot or a rock or a hard mat or something like that, then these forces are magnified, and the body only has a tolerance of so much, and sooner or later something has to give, and it's usually the body versus the golf club or the mat.
You've got wrists, elbows, shoulders, back, hips. What are the problems that you're seeing?
The rotator cuff is an area that a lot of people have heard about. It's an area that's used to a large extent in the golf swing, that rotation of the shoulder. So we do see some tears or rotator cuff strains, and elbows, the tennis elbow, actually amongst golfers occurs 5 times more often than golfer's elbow. Tennis elbow amongst golfers typically occurs on the lead side, so the left side of a right-handed golfer, the outside of the elbow, which is where all the muscles that pull the wrist back attach into a very small area. And so we need a good grip, we need the right tension of holding the club, and then we need the right surface that we're hitting off. All those components sort of come into play, as does if the elbow starts bending too much during the backswing, which means it's got to straighten on the downswing. That additional load and impact with all these other factors of too much grip pressure and a hard mat, everything comes together and magnifies the stress.
What is the difference in your perspective for golfers who hit off a soft surface versus a hard turf mat?
Well, I think you made the point straight away, soft versus hard. I mean, not all of us are Stephen Ames or Wes Heffernans or whatever and are going to hit the ball purely and cleanly, and a lot of us are going to be hitting it fat and all the rest of it. And with an unyielding hard mat, if you don't make the perfect contact, you're going to increase the strain at which the body experiences that impact with the ball. So the softer mat gives you that little bit of extra give to allow us to sort of maybe not hit it perfectly every time and not suffer that strain of the impact. So having the ball sitting up on those bristles just gives us a little bit more ability to withstand that repetitive stress. And golf swing, that's what it's all about. We go to the driving range, we don't hit one ball, we hit 30, 40, 100. Yeah. And so having each shot being a little bit less strain on the body means that we can tolerate the activity much easier.
I've gone to a mat range where I'm hitting off a hard turf mat, and I'm sore after 20 minutes. I want one bucket of balls and I'm done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even a normally executed iron shot is supposed to take a form of divot. You cannot take any form of divot out of a hard mat. So even a good shot is going to have some additional stress compared to grass or the bristle type mat that Fiberbuilt makes.
I think that's one thing I'm doing now that I've been using this Fiberbuilt golf mat, is I'm actually having a better swing plane and I'm getting down into the ball
A steeper swing plane tends to create more hip sideways movement. It's powerful, not as powerful as using more rotation, but it's powerful, but it comes at a price. The back ends up being put into positions that are very hard for it. A flatter swing plane, the more the body rotates, it's much more built for that kind of power, and so we're able to hit the ball further with less stress using that type of swing. And both very effective, but one has a bit more stress on the back, and that would be more of that steeper swing plane.
You've seen all these different golf mats, you've tested them all. What's the bottom line basic difference?
Forgiveness. The ability, to make contact with the ball in a repetitive motion type of thing without having that hard deceleration of hitting a surface that's unyielding. So the Fiberbuilt mat allows a more normal divot scenario to occur when hitting off it. And if you don't hit it perfect, like you and I and most of us, then the Fiberbuilt mat will allow that fat shot to occur without causing us harm.
Thanks for a great interview, Dave. We'll be back in touch soon. Let's go play some golf.